Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. All right. Everything is rocking and rolling today. Projector. There we go. Let's reload this bad boy. Hello and welcome to our Magic the Gathering stream today. We will be streaming Oath of the Gatewatch Game Day. I am your host, Ted Holton. It's going to be a lot of fun today. I'm going to see a lot of awesome standard decks and going to be plowing through everything. Nick Delasola and Chris Brooks warming up right now. Nick Delasola with the confirmation that he only has 3 mana. Specifically missing red. Yeah, missing red. Showing that he can in fact play Abs and Charm, but would rather die to Chris Brooks' creatures. Chris is going to attack. And Nick is going to go to a dangerous life total with no coming back. And Chris contemplating what he's going to do here. He decides to Fiery Impulse the Morph, which is very obvious Den Protector. No secret on that whatsoever. Nick should probably concede being at 10, but he decides not to. He decides to draw a card, and then finally scoops up his cards. Chris explained to him that it was going to be impossible for him to win no matter what. And Nick shuffling up. The warm-ups are the best. They are the best. Otherwise, if you've never been to Game Underground before for any of our Magic events that are happening, you should definitely do so. We have our Wednesday night Star City Games events. Every game day that we have is Wednesday. It's a draft. It's at 7 o'clock, and there's a $15 entry. First through fourth place in each pod wind up getting special participation prizes and packs for their trouble for playing, and it's always 3 rounds. Otherwise, in our Friday events, we have Friday Night Magic, and we have special events that happen normally during our Fridays and our weekends. We have next Friday, Grand Prix Trial New York. It's going to be $10 entry, and it's going to start at 7 p.m. It's going to be pretty busy here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's move back to the game. We have Chris Brooks deciding how he's going to beat Nick, and Nick looks like he's not going to have any land problems this time. Decides to fetch, goes 19. Finds himself a Plains. Chris plays a Mountain, pass the turn. Nick draws a card. Plays another fetch land because he likes to hurt himself, goes to 18. Finds himself another basic. Chances are very likely that Nick has a Tango in his hand, which is why he found 2 basic lands. So it came into play untapped, but we'll have to see. Chris plays him out and passes the turn back. Looks like Nick set himself up here. 4 Nana Fenza on turn 3. Must be nice. Goes back to Chris Brooks. Plays a come into play tap land, decides to add some mana to his mana pool. And decides to kill the Anafenza because it's very, very aggravating. Nick draws a card. Probably going to be a Siege Rhino here because it's tough to be him. Siege Rhino. Chris Brooks goes to 17. Nick gains all that life back, goes to 21. And pass the turn back. Chris draws a card. Plays another come into play tap land, but he adds mana to his mana pool. And he's contemplating what he's going to do here. Has a bunch of cards in his hand. And Chris decides to play Dragon Master Outcast and pass the turn back to Nick. Nick draws a card, decides to swing, and Chris blocks. Nick plays another land and then plays a Wingmate Rock because times couldn't be tougher for the Abzan player. Finds himself a token and he passes the turn back. Chris plays a land, basic mountain. Contemplates what he's going to do at this point. Not impossible to win against this, but seems very difficult. Decides to play a Goblin. Decides to replay the 4 damage spell and kills his Wingmate Rock. Pass the turn back. Goblin is fantastic. It's got menace, can do a lot of things with it. Nick decides to swing, and Chris Brooks is tapped out, so he has to make a decision as to whether or not he wants to block or take all the damage. He's looking at 7. He decides to take it, goes down to 7. Nick plays a land and then plays a morph. Who could guess what Den Protector this could be? Chris draws a card. And proceeds to play Kozilek Sentinel. Actually not a terrible card in this matchup, considering it's 1/5, being how tough it is. Kills the flyer, and kind of has the Siege Rhino at bay for now. And Nick at end of turn flips the Den Protector because life couldn't be easier for the Abzan player. Yeah, I was like, how does the Siege Rhino get +1/+1? Silk wraps his Kozilek Sentinel. And Chris is going to have a tough time at this point. Nick's going to fetch. Looking through his library. Finds a white-green tango. Pays 3. Abzan Charm. Of course. And Chris just shrugs and says, well, that's Abzan. And that's the end of that game. The tough life of the Abzan player. Probably could have played blind and would have been okay, actually. Could have closed his eyes and made the correct plays there. Always busting Nick Delasola's chops. Always enjoyable. I actually really like Chris Brooks' deck. Really interesting deck idea. It's a mono-red deck that keeps his opponents at bay, plays the Goblin to flashback burn spells, and play roasts and do some really cool strategies. Looks like we saw Chandra there and does some other things. Some really cool plays and strategies that Chris could do to his deck. So, a lot of people said Mono Red was dead, but, you know, Chris is trying to prove them wrong, especially today. They're going through and sideboarding. They want to do a full play test. If anybody has any judge questions, don't hesitate to go ahead and talk in the chat. Otherwise, I'm your level 1 judge. My name is Ted Holton, and we appreciate you being here today. Chances are very likely we're either going to have 4 or 5 rounds, completely dependent on the number of participants. Waiting on everybody to come in. It's 12:38. We start at 1 o'clock, and we have 2 people right now. But every single one of our patrons is usually super late. So that's like the Magic the Gathering struggle, the tournament struggle. Everyone winds up being late, and we just deal with it. Usually we start 10 minutes later because everybody's going to be late. There's nothing you can do about it. Nick contemplating what he's going to put in. Like I said, I do like the mono red strategy. It is really interesting. It can do a lot of things that normally a deck could not do, and it runs a pretty interesting strategy. I still think personally that the Siege Rhino decks and Abzan decks in general still play a very hefty role and problem against the mono red player. I think that once Siege Rhino rotates out, there may be a different scenario, but we'll have to see. There might be another Siege Rhino variant. Got to remember that Thrag Tusk was still in the environment as well at one point in time. And then we had something else, and then we had something else, et cetera, so it's definitely a possibility. And both of them giving their decks to their opponent. Six, seven. And Nick with the mulligan. Now with the new mulligan rule, he will be able to scry off the top card of his library, making his win-loss paltry 45%, which still isn't terrible. Still is not bad considering. So Nick says, I like that hand. I'm going to scry. I'm going to put that card on the bottom. And Chris plays a land, pass the turn. Nick draws a card, plays a Tango land, pass the turn back. And Chris plays a land, pass the turn back. A little bit of a slower red strategy. Maybe more of a big red strategy, where he just plays big spells, good creatures, good spells that are specifically mono red. Nick Delasola with the Sylvan Advocate. Tough life he's living. 2/3 vigilance. That basically the new Tarmogoyf for the format. Literally has to do nothing but play lands to make that big. Chris recognizes how stupid that card is and kills it immediately. Pass the turn back. Nick fetches, because he probably has Anafenza, because it's the hardest life that he lives. Searches the library for either a mountain or a forest. Or he has a Tango. If he finds himself a Tango, it means that he loses out on one turn. And Chris Brooks may be able to do something on turn 3. No, he finds a forest. We might be seeing Nisa here. Nick just passes the turn. Chris untaps. Draws his card. Plays a land, comes to play tapped, and produces red, and decides he's going to play a dragon. And Chris says, you were going to take 3 for hurting my dragon. And Nick draws a card, plays a land, Tango, and goes with Anafenza, and decides to play, I don't even know what it's called. It's this level up guy. They stole the level up mechanic. I completely forget. He's just very, very good. Chris Brooks plays a come to play tap land, but still produces a mana for the turn. Decides to fire Exquisite Firecraft, the creature. Plays a Cosmic Sentinel, pass the turn. Cosmic Sentinel is pretty good in this situation, being as how he can pretty much block the level up guy for a while. Why is leveling it up? Nick plays a non-conspicuous morph. I think he probably should have waited a turn to play that morph, but decided to play it now. The problem is that if Chris has anything in his hand to go ahead and deal with that morph now, no, yeah, he plays the goblin, goes ahead and gets out his burn spell. And decides to kill the morph. Gets exiled. I probably would have waited a turn for the untapped lands that I can unmorph immediately. I don't think it was necessary to do that. Plays another morph because Nick Della Sola top decks like a god. Very obvious Dem Protector. Has 2 available to unmorph it and get back another Dem Protector. Not a great situation Chris is in. Plays Sarkin. Chris decides what he's going to do here. Decide to kill something, or he can go ahead and swing. He decides to swing. Really interesting deck Chris has. It's just all burn, removal spells, and big answers on turn 5, turn 6. Nick decides he's going to get back that Valor stance. I think getting back the Dem Protector is probably the better answer there, but, you know, I don't know. See what Nick wants to do here. If you're just jumping on stream for the first time, welcome. Always appreciate you coming in. I am Ted Holton. I'm a level 1 judge for Magic the Gathering. I'll be judging the event today. Decides to Silk Wrap the Kozilek Sentinel. And decides to kill the Goblin and swing out. He's going to swing at Sarkin, bring him to 1, pass the turn. If I were in Chris's situation, I wouldn't feel too worried right now, considering the fact that literally Nick has 1 card in hand. And Chris goes, I'm going to tap out for this Goblin, and I'm just going to shoot you for 4. And then I imagine we're going to see another attack here from Sarkin. Yeah. That's rough. So Nick at 4. Any Siege Rhino would probably help him immensely here. Going to pay 2 to Valor Stance. The Goblin. Kills Sarkin. Hits Chris for a little bit of damage. And Nick holding a card. And Chris goes, you know what? You're gonna die. You're dead. Put a period on that. No commas. Top deck Exquisite Firecraft. The plus, though, is that, you know, at least we didn't see a top deck Siege Rhino. So there you go. You guys can watch this without some commentary for a little bit. I'm going to start putting in some people, and then we will go ahead and get this event underway. Nick taking a little break here, trying to walk around, try to cool himself off from getting beat so many times by Mono Red. I don't know. We're actually going to be starting at 1:10, so we got about 7 more minutes remaining. We do have 8 players right now, which is fantastic. That is what we were hoping for, at least 8 players. 7 more minutes, we will be starting. Going to be an exciting event. Have a few regulars here, a few not so regulars here today. We'll see what happens. If this is your first time being here, my name is Ted Holton. I am a level 1 judge for Magic the Gathering. We go ahead and do big events every week. Wednesday night Magic, Star City Games event, 7 p.m., $15 entry. And that's a draft. We have always our F&Ms. Every Friday it's a standard event, 7 p.m., $10 entry. And next Friday we have our Grand Prix Trial New York, which will be at 7 p.m., and that will only be $10. So if you do want to come by, if you're a local and you want to win a 2-round bye to our Grand Prix events, don't hesitate to go ahead and try it out, get ourselves situated. Looks like everybody's chatting. I'm going to check up at the front, see if we have any more players. I'll be right back. Rich Nowak, David Osborne, Kush, Sam True, and Sam White. Is there anyone I did not call? All right. Up on deck, on stream, is Rich Nowak and Caitlin. You guys can start setting up. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest. Pairings for round one are posted. Find your seats and find the pairings. We're off to the races, ladies and gentlemen. We are at round one. We have Rich Nowak versus Caitlin. Rich Nowak is playing a red-green ramp deck. I believe he's playing that deck. And Caitlin is playing a red-white aggro variant. We're going to see how these two play it off here. Otherwise, if this is your first time watching, thank you for coming in and taking a look at our events. I am Ted Holton. I'm a level 1 judge for the Massachusetts area. If you ever want to come in and play Magic the Gathering here at Game Underground, we're at Natick, Massachusetts, right where the shopping mall is in the Natick Mall. Looks like they're going to roll Seegers first here. An aggressive 9, and Kate does not roll well. Rich is going to go first. They're shuffling their decks. So we had 8 players for today. Not a problem whatsoever. 48 packs, 48 booster packs going towards all of the top 8 participants for today. Obviously heavier towards the top than on the bottom. But every single player here today will be getting boosters and packs. They'll also be getting special promo cards and special prize support. And there'll be 3 rounds today. It's as easy as that. While we wait for them to shuffle up, just as a reminder, if you are a person who is in the Massachusetts area, we will be running a Grand Prix Trial New York on Friday at 7 p.m. And that will be ran instead of a Friday Night Magic event. And you will be able to win a 2-round bye to Grand Prix New York, which is in May. It will be ran at the Meadowlands Arena. It'd be really crazy. Let's see what happens here. Yep, Rich is playing the green-red strategy. It looks like he's got a decent amount of lands, decent amount of cards. I think he's going to keep here. And Kate is mulliganing. Oh, Kate might be going to Jeskai method then. He's got a Jeskai charm in the deck. Going down to 6. If you'd like to say hi on stream, or if you have any specific judge questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you spot anything that I don't spot, don't hesitate to let me know as well. Rich won game day already yesterday, and he's trying to go back-to-back today. Ooh, well, she's got a Mantis Rider. You already know that. She's going to keep. She's going to look at the top card of her library. Put it on the bottom. And Rich is going to fetch with a Tech Edge, Evolving Wild. And Kate's going to play a very aggressive Monastery Swift Spear and attack for 1 already. Rich untaps, plays a land, and there it is. Our Tarmogoyf of the evening. Whoa, Kate goes with a Storm Chaser Mage. Swing with a 1/3 and pass the turn. We might have a very explosive play here from Kate. Rich plays land, and Rich decides to attack with a 2/3. Caitlin doesn't block, and he pays 2 to play another Sylvan Advocate. Kate draws a card, taps 3, is going to take a point of damage, and swings with both flyers for 4 damage. Rich plays a land. He's got to contemplate what he's going to do here. Pays 4. Going to search the library for some lands. The crazy part about this strategy is that me and him talked about this strategy several times over. How finding lands, searching for lands out of your library and playing them and just playing big spells, because nobody's playing counter spells right now, is a very, very, very good thing. And it's silly about the fact that next turn, Rich is going to be able to play his Ugin and wipe Caitlin's entire board. It's ridiculous. On his turn 5, Rich is going to be able to play an Ugin, because there's a Shrine of the Forsaken Gods underneath some of those lands. And there's almost nothing that Caitlin can do about it. Now, she may understand and know what's coming. And I don't know if she does. The other problem is the Sylvan Advocates now are +2/+2. So they're humongous. Turn 4. The Sylvan Advocates are 4/5s. She says, I'm gonna shoot you for 2. Prowess triggers. I'm gonna gain 2 because it has lifelink. And then I'm just gonna swing. And Rich is at 7. But it was not enough. As long as Rich has land here, she's in major trouble. And he does. So he's able to produce 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana right now. Swings at both Sylvan Advocates because Rich is like, well, I'm going to lose him if I do what I'm going to do. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plays Ugin. And he's going to do 3. And exile every single card on the board with converted mana cost 3 or less. Pass the turn back. And Rich has a World Breaker in his hand, so if Caitlin can't get the ball rolling here, the game is pretty much over because Rich is going to destroy land. Swings the Storm Chaser Mage, plays Storm Chaser Mage. Rich is at 6. Rich draws a card, looks like it was a land. Plays another land. Decides to probably kill the Storm Chaser Mage, yep. And he's going to pay very little to do a very broken ability based on what he's doing right now. And decides to play a World Breaker. He's going to destroy that land. Produces white. So now you're stuck on lands. Thinking about what she's going to do. She drew a Tango land. The black-red. It's going to be really tough. Yeah, it's really tough to deal with that. I'm going to move on to game 2 here. Rich winning with a very interesting over-the-top ramp deck. Playing Ugin on turn 6 and playing World Breaker on turn 7 after wiping his opponent's board. Seems very difficult to come back from. I'm sorry, Ugin on turn 5. Ugin on turn 5, World Breaker on turn 6. And having his Sylvan Advocates online on turn 4. That's 4 or 5 Vigilance creatures. Contemplating what he's going to do here. We do see Rich with some Thought-Knot Seers in his main that we didn't see, and some Ulamogs that we didn't see as well. Very fast game. Both decks are fairly fast. It's either Rich combos out or Caitlin kills her opponent with a bunch of hasty beatdown creatures here. Outside of a counterspell, I don't know what Caitlin could side in. Could side in, I don't know. Any counterspell would help her immensely. You know, it doesn't matter what you ramp into if you just stop the spells from taking a hold. Even Dispel could help. So we'll see. See what her sideboard has in store. And looks like Rich going through his sideboard, making sure that he only has 15 cards in there. And we're shuffling up for game 2. Again, if this is your first time hanging out with us and watching Magic the Gathering with us, welcome. I'm Ted Holton. I'm a level 1 judge for Magic the Gathering. We were hoping for more players today, but that's okay. We had 8 players, which was enough to sanction this event, which is fantastic. We're offering prize support of 6 booster packs per player for participating. So that means that there's 48 booster packs that are going to be split amongst the top 8. So there's only 8 players, so everybody's going to be getting boosters today, which is really awesome. And if you do want to come by and play Magic with us and you play Standard on a regular basis, you can definitely come by and play Standard. Our Friday Night Magics are specifically Standard, and next Friday we're not having Friday Night Magic. Instead, we're having Grand Prix Trial New York. Grand Prix Trial New York is going to be Standard, and you can win a 2-round bye to our Grand Prix. If you're a local participant, you're local in the Massachusetts scene, definitely love to see you here. I'll be running that event as well. Rich contemplating whether or not he's going to keep that hand, and he decides to keep it. It's a pretty aggressive hand. Rich needs to hit a land amongst the first 3 cards that he draws, which isn't uncommon. It's not ridiculous to say that, but if he doesn't hit a land, then he's going to be stuck. And his deck is more of an aggressive strategy where you really want a 3 or 4 land hand, mainly 4 land hand. 4 land hand with mana ramp with some capable creatures and capable effects. Keep in mind that Rich Nowak's deck is playing Evolving Wilds. And this Evolving Wilds deck is beating a lot of the meta game that's in the format right now. Just some food for thought on that money does not always equate to winning the game of Magic. Being innovative is usually a better answer to that. So Kate taking a look at her hand, decides to keep, gonna scry, just putting it on the bottom. And she is first. Plays a Tango land and pass the turn. Rich plays a basic, plays a tree. It's got landfall. He gains a life when he replays the land. And it's a 0-3 to begin with. So he gains a life. And Kate draws a card and looks like she is frustrated. She is land screwed right now, unfortunately. Rich plays a land, gains a life. Goes to 3 lands in the battlefield. Plays Niece's Pilgrimage to go ahead and get himself some lands. Yes, Niece's Pilgrimage is in this deck. You heard it right. You heard it here first, folks. Niece's Pilgrimage. I know, it's crazy. Rich passes the turn back to Caitlin. Caitlin contemplating what she's going to do right now. She's going to discard a card. Not good. Rich with the Evolving Wilds. Doesn't really have to do a lot right now based on what's going on with his opponent. Decides to fetch. She's going to go to 25. It does get wastes because it counts any basic lands. Does not care if it's a waste or if it's a regular basic. Tops out and plays a Thought-Knot Seer. Goes and takes a look at her hand and decides what is going to be the killer. And Disdainful Stroke is going to be the card that's exiled. Draws a card, pass the turn back. I think they're talking about the land screw. And Rich attacks for 4, brings Caitlin to 16. Plays land, gains a life from that, and I think it's going to be an Oblivion Sower here. Pay 6, insult to injury, Oblivion Sower. You exile top 4 cards. If there are any lands in there, there's 1, there's 2. So he gets to play both of those lands. He gains 2 more life because he plays those lands. Could miss the trigger. He does. He misses the triggers. Caitlin plays land, but facing a 4-4 to 5-8, it's going to be pretty difficult to deal with. Yeah. Valor stances the 5-8. Which draws a card. And plenty of mana to do anything he wants. I mean, Rich can pretty much Harlem Globetrotters all up and down this game right now based on how much mana he has. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10. Brings it to 27. Swings for 4. Brings Caitlin to 12. Plays this guy. Draws a bunch of cards. Has to tap the 2. That's 10. It's going to go over there in a second about it. And pass the turn back. And Caitlin draws a card. The real problem is that Rich can literally discard a card to counter a spell at this point. So if Caitlin has anything that is convertible cost 3, 4, 2, it's going to get countered. Or 1. So he's going to discard this to counter it. And he's going to counter it. Oh my gosh. That is awful. Oh. That's despicable. That's it. It's a GG right there. So that is the round 1. And Rich Nowak won 2 games to 0. And I'll ask if they want to go ahead and do a salty run back of that game. I guarantee you that they probably do. So let me go ahead and ask, and I'll be right back. giving her some deck advice. She is running 20 lands, so I don't think it's a bad idea to run 20 lands in her deck in consideration. It's mainly because even though she's running 3 colors and she's running 4 fetches, every single card in her deck, with the exception of Jeskai Ascendancy, costs 2 or 1. But we are going to let Caitlin borrow 4 of our Jaces for the Grand Prix trial. She's going to be here for the Grand Prix trial, and we believe that Jace is definitely a shoo-in in that deck overall. So we're going to start it over again. Caitlin being able to play first, having a real card out this time. Swings again, brings him to 18. Has to turn back. And this is just a salty run back. Rich already won. Plays Sylvan Advocate. The Sylvan Advocate's going to be a serious contender for best creature card in Magic in about a year, because the fact that he's basically a 4/5 with no downside is extremely good. Rich looking at the lands that he has. Plays Evolving Wilds. I do like how many fetches that Rich has, just based off of his deck in general, because he's going to be able to thin his deck out immensely, especially when he's going through so many fetches. So he gets to search his library for any basic land, and it comes into play tapped because he controls a wastes. For 2 mana. He's up to 4. You won 2? Okay. Yeah, we're just waiting on one match. We're waiting on Sam White and Nick Delasola. Caitlin draws a card. Looks like she's got a lot of gas in her hand. Plays Jeskai Ascendancy and swings for 1 again. This could be a really good setup for her. Another land would definitely help. That's not necessary. Rich plays in Evolving Wilds, number 3, and plays the Thought Knots here. Gonna shred her hand a bit. Takes a look, sees Jeskai Charm, sees the Team of Battle Rage, and sees 2 Mantis Riders. Decides to get rid of a Team of Battle Rage. Gives her everything else. He's gonna fetch. He passed the turn back. And Caitlin fetches. Probably going to be for a basic, because otherwise every other land's going to come into play tapped. Yep. Gets a basic island. And contemplate what's in her hand. We all know what's in her hand right now. If she just got Charms, she will Prowess trigger and get a bunch of stuff going. She could theoretically shoot Rich for 4 instant speed. She doesn't have to do it now. So she decides to play the Mantis Rider and just swing for 3, which is just a short answer. Brings Rich to 13. And Rich untaps, and we see an Oblivion Sower there. And it's going to be an Oblivion Sower. This is going to be very devastating. Exiles the top 4 cards. There's a land. Land number 1. Land number 2. 2 lands. Both come into play tapped, but still in all, that is a huge amount of mana. We're up to 8, and that is the breaking point for Rich's deck. As long as he's at 8 or more mana, he could play any of those really crazy spells like Ugin and the like. And Ugin here would be pretty devastating because it won't touch his side of the board because they're all colorless creatures. Kate's looking at her hand. And she could play another Mantis Rider. The problem is that if she plays Mantis Rider and brings Rich to 7, could be playing right into Ugin. The plus side is that if Caitlin plays Mantis Rider and then top decks a Jeskai Charm, it could kill Rich in 3 turns. So it brings him a 3-turn clock. So she's going to play that. She's going to do that play. Brings him to 7. Rich draws a card. Let's see what he's got. Plays a land. And Rich may not make it here. This game might be Kate's. If he's not able to deal with those Mantis Riders, I think there's just too much aggression that he can't deal with. He's getting his land situated, and there might be a world breaker here. 4 and 3. There is. He destroys. Doesn't know what he's going to destroy here. I think he's just dead on board. He's going to destroy the mountain just in case, or exile it rather. And he swings with just Oblivion Sower. I think Rich forgot that she's got Jeskai Charm, although Kate may not realize that she's got Jeskai Charm, so we'll see. But Jeskai Charm would deal 4 to Rich, and then both Mantis Riders will kill him. We'll have to see. It's really in Kate's game to make a mistake at this point. We'll have to see. I think Rich's logic is that he is going to keep 2 creatures up just in case, so that she doesn't know or understand. And she's explaining to him that you can only block 1, and you're going to take 4, and that's going to kill you. And I hope you had a great day. And he's explaining that, you know, if I blocked and if I did this, but I think what he did was he forgot that there was a Jeskai Charm in Caitlyn's hand. I probably would have scooped sooner, just not realizing it. And he's explaining that, you know, you may as well just attack both just in case, and then, you know, and then do the Jeskai Charm instead of showing the Jeskai Charm and seeing if there's anything that you could do. Just some verbiage. If this is the first time that you've been to this stream, we always appreciate you coming in. If you want to give us a follow, give us a like, whatever it is that you can do in regards to the stream and Magic the Gathering in general, we always appreciate you hanging out here today. My name is Ted Holton. I'm a level 1 judge for Magic the Gathering and for this area. Otherwise, our big events that we have, as far as big events are concerned, are every Wednesday and every Friday. Every Friday we have our Friday Night Magic here at Game Underground. And every Wednesday, we have our Star City Games game day. Every Wednesday is a draft. It's $15. Then it's 3 rounds. Every Friday, it's $10. And we have, based on the number of participants, that many rounds. So 9 to 16, 4 rounds. 16 and higher, we have 5 rounds. And it's a lot of fun. Big special event coming up. The Friday that's coming up right now, specifically the 19th, we're going to have a Grand Prix trial for New York. If you are a local in the area and you want to win a 2-round bye and you're planning on going to New Jersey/New York for the Grand Prix, don't hesitate to come by and we'll go ahead and get you situated for that. And that starts at 7 p.m. and that will be $10. What's up, the Woody? If you have a judge question, don't hesitate to ask. I will answer all judge questions on chat. Not a problem whatsoever. I do not take offense. Do not in any way, shape, or form take offense. Not a big fan of modern personally. Seems to be a lot of modern PTQs happening today and a lot of modern events happening today. Just not a fan. You know, modern season currently exists of 80% Eldrazi and 20% the rest of the format. So, unfortunately, not a huge purveyor of Eldrazi ramp or Eldrazi in general. I shouldn't even say ramp because it's just Eye of Ugin and Eldrazi Temple. Mulligan until you have Eldrazi Temple and Eye of Ugin, and then go off. So, I will see if the winner of that match wants to be interviewed. Let me go ahead and take a look. Rich. He's coming by. I don't think I have another headset. Rich, I don't have another headset, but would you like to be interviewed? They toss you over. Yeah. What did you? So what happened?
See what I do, man, you do it because you trigger your Jess guy sentence.
Well, she had to do that anyway. She was going to deal 4 damage.
I was trying to teach you what to do with the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you want to, okay, see, now you need to read the card. You're going to attack. I told her, you're going to get a card from top, if I block. And that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're playing a very unconventional deck. You're playing Evolving Wilds, you're playing weird fetches that let lands come and play tapped, you're playing Aces Pilgrimage. What brought you to that confirmation of those spells?
The old ramp deck, I was liking it, but it wasn't building up fast enough for me. Sylvan Scrying was in the old deck, and it's just too slow, where Rune and Wake is a better Sylvan Scrying. If you have a Wake, Rune in the Wake, basically it's a 2-drop, where if you have a waste, in play, you can get a card in the battlefield tap, so you're getting 1 more card. If I was playing Sylvan Scrying, I'm just getting a card in my hand, and that's not really helping me, but getting that other one, it almost helps me as if I was in the draw, it's going to almost help me like as if I was in play, so I get 1 more card advantage against your opponent to start there.
Yeah. Now, Sylvan Scrying, is that still legal in Standard?
Absolutely.
Have you considered using it for Shrine of Forsaken Gods to find it?
I thought about that. It's just that when I was playtesting with it, I didn't come out as fast as I did with the set of cards now. Because here, I'm on a consistent basis. I'm coming out with more lands, I'm coming out with bigger spells. I'm basically getting to World Breaker as soon as I can.
Gotcha.
That's the plan. And that's basically my plan, is to get the World Breaker as soon as I can. Because if I'm searching, let's say Mulligan pretty much is World Breaker unless I'm Olog goes like basically an insane.
Yeah, we didn't see Ulamog.
Yeah.
But you have two Ullamogs in there. You have two Rugans.
Two wings in the main, two in the side. Originally I had the side, the other two wings are basically against rally, Abzan, that type of thing, because I don't technically need it.
Yeah.
And then if somebody plays me game one, if I know they're playing black or looking for obliterate, then I'm going to kind of reassess the board, maybe throw in the Ugins, take out a couple world breakers, maybe more Ullamogs, so that way I can become more diverse. That's the difference between, I think, both the Gate Lodge, you're able to get more creatures with the ramp deck, because beforehand it was just Ullamog and maybe one other guy.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like, okay, boom, you're dead. Now there's a lot of diverse things going on.
And you're not using the creature that blinks either, correct?
Not in this deck, no.
Okay.
Although he is nuts. He is also wild.
Yeah.
In the other deck that I was going to use, the black-white mono Eldrazi, I was using it, just awesome. But this one, I don't know, something about it's ringing to me.
Yeah. All right, cool. Sounds good. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and go back to the cut, and we're gonna be. We have. Let's see. We have a total of 11 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and double check on how the other people are doing, and then we'll get back to that.
You're going to match it to
I know. And we'll be right back, guys. We are moving right along. We have it all situated already. We know who just won. And we're going to put them right on stream. Let's create the next round. All right. Let's get to round two. Save. Yes. Magic players. Nerds round two have been posted. Push and Sam White. You are on our feature match table for round two. Sam White. Make sure you sit in the right spot. Don't go over this barrier either.
Okay, so I'm on the left side, right? Left? No?
All right, guys. Already in round number two. righty. Players, you have 50 minutes. May begin. All righty. And we have another match, Sam White versus Kush Patel. Sam White with a very, very interesting enchantment deck. I do not know what Kush is actually playing. We'll know once he starts playing, though. Again, if this is the first time that you're here, we do appreciate you coming. My name is Ted Holt, and I am a level 1 judge for Magic the Gathering. If there's any judge questions, I will go ahead and facilitate them and figure them out for you, including the players for today. Outside of that, we thank you for being here. We have 8 players for today. We're going to have 4 rounds. We're burning through them pretty fast. So we got both players shuffling up their decks. Looks like Kush was at Grand Prix Washington, D.C. That's pretty exciting. And Sam White was at Grand Prix Baltimore. Both players spending an enormous amount of time shuffling their decks, finally presenting. Gonna do the old roll to see who goes first. Kush rolling a very average 7. And Sam not rolling even close to that. Kush with the documented thumbs up to go ahead and say that he will be on the play. Looks like Kush is playing a blue-red deck. Probably blue-red aggro. And both players mulliganing. Going down to 6. It's pretty exciting. Both players currently 1-0. Do the prize support right now for these players. 3rd to 4th place. Fifth to 8th place. Plus. 6, 12 packs. $16 plus 8 plus. That's it. That's what it's going to be. All right, Kush and Sam White with some slow starts here. Kush playing what it looks like to be a 3-color deck. Taps his Tango to play Swift Spear. Gives his Swift Spear unblockability. Draws a card from the spell and has prowess. Deals 2 damage to him. Sam draws a card. Gains a life. Pass the turn back. Kush plays a fetch land, decides to fetch. Gets himself a basic mountain. Swings, hits him for 1. And Kush passes the turn back. Sam plays a land. And Sam going with the enchantment strategy, so we're going to see what happens here. Some of his enchantments have flash, so he may just pass the turn to see what Kush will do. And he plays a Knight. I have no idea what that card does. It is not normally played. Not that it's a bad card, it's just not a normally played card. I know it's from Origins. Kush looking for another land. Already 3 fetch lands burned. Kush swings for 1. Says, I'm not going to block. So Kush says, I'm going to Titan Strength, and then I'm going to Team Battle Rage, and that is a huge amount of damage. It's going to bring him to 7. Gets a Scry. And Kush passes the turn. Sam finds a land. He really needs a way to stop that creature. He doesn't have anything that's going to be bad news bears for Sam here. Taps 3. Plays the tension field. And swings. I don't think I would swing under that matchup. But he did. Sam goes to 11. Kush plays land and passes the turn. Not good. Not good for Kush right now. Sam plays land, and he has nothing but gas in his hand. Plays an equipment that says the creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment he controls. Equips the the equipment onto the creature and swings. And passes the turn back. This is a game right now. This is a real game of Magic the Gathering. And Kush draws a land again. Pass the turn. Sam draws a card. Plays it coming to play tap land, but it's a man land. And swings. And Kush is at 3. Draws a card and scoops up his cards. And Sam is going to win game 1 here. The enchantment deck winning another game. Currently the enchantment deck is undefeated right now. Very, very interesting. We'll see what happens here. Just had to go ahead and figure that out really quick. Alrighty. And these guys are just siding in. Sideboard answers. Sam doesn't seem to have a lot of sideboard cards. And Kush has a few. 5 cards. Sam just shuffling up. Kush contemplating whether or not he's going to side specific cards in or out. The shuffling is real. Would you believe that they have actually shuffled longer than they've actually played a game of Magic? Sam chatting with Kush. And if this is the first time you've been at the stream, we always appreciate you hanging out here with us. I am Ted Holton. I'm a level 1 judge for Magic the Gathering. We always appreciate you hanging out with us on stream. We do stream Magic events every Wednesday. Our Star City Games game day. That starts at 7 p.m. and it normally ends around 10:30. Outside of that, we normally stream our big events like this as well. Our next big event is Grand Prix Trial New York, which is coming up this Friday, specifically the 19th, and that will be at 7 o'clock. That will also be ran by me, Ted Holton, who is a level 1 judge. If you do have any judge questions, don't hesitate to ask me over in the text area or the chat area. You can ask me any judge questions or any contemplating of judge questions. And Sam's going to mulligan. The biggest problem is, too, with standard as far as shuffling and things like that are all the fetch lands. We have so many fetch lands. I mean, Kush played 4 fetches last game, not including the 2 mulligans and the fetches. Their cards have been shuffled longer, and those sleeves have been destroyed more probably today than they've ever been off of one game. And while we wait for the shuffle, I'm gonna hand out some promos. I'll be right back, guys. Looks like I didn't miss too much there. Aqueduct, a Terra Stomper. I actually like Terra Stomper a lot. A lot of people don't know that it's actually illegal right now in Standard. Be an interesting thing to ramp into. Before the Eldrazi existed, it would actually be a really good thing to ramp into. Kush with a Storm Chaser Mage. Sam's going to draw a card. Assumingly play another come to play tap land. Unless he has a play for this turn. Oh, he does. He's going to make sure that that creature stays away permanently. Kush is going to draw a card. If Kush is going to play the Abbot this turn, I would not have played the land. See, he could have played the land, decided to play a land beforehand, and lost out on playing that island. Literally just a waste. Decides to expedite it, swings for 3, draws a card off the expedite, and then passes the turn back. There's not a lot of people who know how to play the Abbots well. And Sam White with that enchantment dude. I believe he is a special creature that if you have an enchantment in play, does some stuff. Let me just find out what it is. That's Blood Cursed Knight. As long as you control an enchantment, it gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. It's a 4/3 lifelink as long as he controls an enchantment for 3. Pretty good. It's really solid. And he dies. A swift death from Fiery Impulse. Gets prowess triggers going. Swings of both. And Sam untaps. Draws a card. Really needs an answer. Needs either exile something or take care of something. He goes, I'm going to play this, and I don't know what it does either, as a matter of fact. As Kush is reading it, I think every single one of us are reading it. He says, okay. Kush fetching. X out of these. Oh, it's Myth Realized, yeah. 13, just started playing Magic the Gathering last year, so I still have much to learn. That's okay. Kills, I started playing Magic the Gathering when I was 15, and I'm 29 now, so just goes to show that there's still lots of things to learn that's Magic related. And it is a lot of fun, though. And it looks like Kush has a card to play that requires you to exile spells. Ooh, Treasure Cruise. He's going to draw 3 cards. He's going to trigger, trigger Prowess. And it looks like he also drew another Titan Strength. He's got 2 stacks of Prowess right now. I think Titan Strength might do it. Sam goes to you. Are you doing anything else? Kush says, might not. No, Kush decides not to. He goes to 4. I think the answer would have been to try it. I think I would have just played Titan Strength and got there. Because I have so many cards in my hand that I would have rather just tried it and saw what happened instead of giving Sam another card to draw. Sam pays 4, and it's going to be a field of exiling. He's going to exile that. He's going to get Myth Realized. Says go. But this Titan Strength should do it here. There you go. We want to move on to game 3. Whistling sound. Yeah, this place is actually an arcade plus a tournament in the very back. So we have, we don't just do tournament stuff, we also do a huge arcade. And the tournament stuff that's going on, for example, we would normally have 100 to 150 players for Street Fighter and 100 to 150 players for Super Smash Brothers. So we have lots and lots and lots of stuff going on in regards to that. So it's pretty cool. Background noise is not nearly as bad as you would think it is. The background noise is there, but you don't even realize it unless you like are listening to the stream, because my microphone is sensitive. So no worries. Well, believe it or not, I mean, there's no Atarka. There's no Atarka red in between the 8 players that we have today. It's not bad. No complaints. And Sam is a pretty innovative deck himself. Really, really interesting. I like the blue-red prowess deck. I do like the ramp deck that I have a player going ahead and running around for. Just so you guys know, in case you ever wanted to come here and play in any of our events, as far as events are concerned, our first place for today is going to get 16 boosters for 8 players. Our second place is going to be 8 boosters. Third to fourth is going to get 6 packs, and 5th through 8th are going to get 3 packs. So no matter what, if you came here today, you will be getting packs pretty much no matter what, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if Terra Stomper is illegal. I can check. I can check for you. My logic is that Terra Stomper was printed in those special packs that were given a rare for Origins. Let me see. Yeah, Terra Stomper's in Magic Origins, technically. So it is actually legal in Standard right now. It is not illegal. And the reason why it's not in booster packs, but it's still legal, is because Wizards put out special cards that were specifically in special decks in that way. So there you go. Yeah, he was technically printed in Origins, but I do not believe that you can get him in an Origins booster pack. You would have to get him specifically from getting the packs that were given to new players that were completely free. Or just get him from the previous set. Kush and Sam going through and figuring out what they're going to do. Kush feeling pretty adamant about saying those cards are pretty good. Okay, sounds good. Prize support's on the screen. All right. Kush saying, I'm going to keep the hand of all 1-drops. Why not? Let's see what I can do. Oh, yeah, you can't get Terra Stomper packs, yeah. Blood Soaked Tonight is the knight, the enchantment guy. Sam goes, I'm going to mulligan. I'm going to proceed to mulligan number 2. Meanwhile, this is a fantastic event. We wish you were here. If you are in the area at all, in the Natick area, and you ever wanted to stop in for Magic, we do have Magic the Gathering events on Wednesdays and Fridays, and sometimes on weekends. If you wanted to go ahead and follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/GameUnderground, and that's essentially it. We do have big events. I do run those big events. My name is Ted Holton, and I am a level 1 judge for the event. If you were to PM Game Underground on Facebook, I can always answer any judge questions for you if you had any specific judge questions or judge rulings. Outside of that, we do appreciate that you're here. We're going to have 3 rounds today. We have 8 players. Cush and Sam White walking into our very exciting Game 3. Cush with the red-blue special prowess deck, and Sam White with his white-black enchantment deck. We'll see what happens here. Because there were 8 players, all 8 players went ahead and got the special foil promo for the top 8, and all 8 players went ahead and got the destroy target attacking creature promo. We're giving out a total of 48 booster packs for the top 8 today because of this event. Sam does not look happy. Gonna see what he does here. And he is going to mulligan again. He's gonna go to 5. Five cards are gonna be pretty difficult to win. It's not impossible, but it's gonna be pretty difficult. Definitely not where I'd want to be. Sam presenting and hoping that he does not have to go to 4. I mean, if he's got to go to 4 cards, I don't know how he's going to win. He's at 4. Nice. And Myth realized, enchantment number 1. Cush draws a card, plays a come and play tap land, and plays a Swift Spear. And Sam does not realize what world of trouble that he is in. And Sam is going to put enchantment on Swift Spear. Myth realized goes to 1. Cush doesn't have another land. He should probably play Abbott to go ahead and try to get a land. This would be the smartest play. He does not. He instead plays another prowess creature. I would have personally played Abbott at that point. You don't have anything else to do, and you don't have a land to play. You play Abbott. Try to hit into a land. And Sam plays his artifact, his equipment that gets gives +1/+1 to a creature that has based on the number of enchantments that he has in play. Cush untaps, draws a card, not a land. I still would play the Abbott at this point. I think it's silly not to. Does not. I would have drawn the card first, just to see if there's another land to draw. Oh, I see. So he's going to scry first. It's just silly. Like, this is kind of like a waste of the stack. Like, he plays to make it unblockable and draw a card. Then this resolves. He draws the card. It's a land. He plays. Oh, it's not a land. What? All right. In my mind, I would say, I really would consider getting lands. Oh, and that creature has a triggered ability that deals combat damage to a player. He draws a card. And then I believe he has to discard a card as well. There it is. Pass the turn back. Sam draws a card. And he is definitely not pretending that he's in good shape. Gives him the aforementioned gun symbol of go. Kush draws his card. Nice. Second place game day with Ramp. That's really cool. Kush taking a look at what he's got on the board there. Finally plays an Abbott. Reveals a land. Oh my god. Rolling that dice just when he needs it. And going to be an Expedite. Draws a card. Has to tap for mana, yep. And it's probably going to swing at both. Sam has a decision to make here. He could, he decides to. He's going to block creature. Then take 3. Kush going to draw a card and then discard a card. Pass the turn back. Sam draws a card. Is not happy. Says go. Kush draws a land. This game is probably over. Especially based off of shows the hand to our staff. And Kush plays an Abbott. Shows the spell. It's not really going to do him any good. Expedites it. Draws a card off the Expedite. Swings for 5. Gonna draw a card, discard a card. Kush plays a land for the turn. I think playing that land earlier would have actually brought him to 5, 4, 3. Would have brought him to 3. I don't understand why he didn't play the land earlier. Plays a creature that normally has haste and he can attack with the same turn. Sam draws a card and kind of an innocent plea. Hopes that somehow his opponent has a heart attack. But I don't see his opponent losing here. The only way he could lose is literally going into cardiac arrest. And Kush shows him all 3 of his creatures. And Sam passed the turn. That's going to be the game. Sam is showing him his entire hand. Lots of cards in his hand. And that is it. That's going to do it. And Sam is going to lose to Kush 2 games to 1. And Sam's got an interesting deck. It's an interesting deck idea. Kush kind of like made so many play mistakes. I really hope that that he doesn't make too many mistakes towards the end, because he is going to be on the feature match table. He is now undefeated at 2 rounds. Exile, we had 8 players today for game day, which is not a problem whatsoever. We had enough to run the game day, so I'm fine with that. We're going to be giving out 48 booster packs towards our players today, which I'm sure they don't have any problems with either. 48. Yeah, I don't see infinite obliteration being a smart idea. You know, I think that was definitely a bad sideboard choice. But he may have considered the fact that he doesn't have any other sideboard cards. So, some food for thought on that. All right, guys, I'm going to be right back. And he had Team of Battle Rage, actually, and Titan Strength. So, I'm going to do a 30-second commercial, and I'll be right back. And then there, I believe, going to do a salty run back for the 10 minutes that we have left. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Sometimes you just got to go, if you know what I mean. So I am setting up the last round right now, and we're getting ourselves situated for round number 3. And we're going to have Sam True and Kush Patel. I don't know what Sam is playing. We know that Kush is going to be back on the feature match table. He is currently playing the blue-red prowess deck. And this is going to be the last round. So it's going to be winner take all here. Match players, pairs for round 3 are posted. Sam Chu and Kush Patel, you will be on the feature match table for the last round. Alrighty. No, not ping pong. It's air hockey. It's air hockey. Ping pong. That'd be pretty interesting. Ping pong table. All right, we're going to go back to the scene. Here we go. And I'll be right back. I'm going to let them know what's the scoop. Magic players, this is your last round. You have 50 minutes. You may begin. And we're off to the races here. Kush and Sam True. Magic the ping ponging. I'll tell you, that air hockey table is very popular. Definitely very popular. We're going to see what Sam True is playing. And Sam rolls a 6, which is not bad. A little under average, but it's okay. And Kush really hoping for the dice roll. I think his deck is pretty much designed that if you win a die roll, you have a much better chance of winning in general. I think I caught a glimpse of Sam's deck. I think he's playing green-white. I don't know if it's green-white tokens or green-white aggro. I don't know what it is. I did see Gideon. I did see some other creatures as well. And Kush rolls an 8. Definitely going to go first here. You have to shuffle more. You just do this shuffle. You don't pile shuffle. You just do this. You need to pile shuffle. You need to do both. And then you kept the 4-land hand. Yeah, or 4-card hand. So, Kush keeps. Sam True decides to take a mulligan. Gideon is very difficult to deal with. There's a couple different things that Gideon makes very difficult decisions for your opponent to do. Sam goes to 6 cards. And he might be going to 5. No, he decides not to. He does a scry. Decides to keep it on top. And Kush going to go with a Tangle Land, pass the turn back. Sam drew Gideon. Plays a fetch, pass the turn. Kush going through his hand. Plays a land, fetches. Goes to 19. Gets himself a basic island. Well, let's see what he's going to play here. Might be a Storm Chaser Mage. It is not. It is Monasteries. It's a Swift Spear and gives it unblockability, swings for 2, draws a card off of it, pass the turn back. Sam at end of turn decides to fetch. Gets himself a blue-black Tango Land. Sam presents his deck, draws a card. At least Sam's got land in his hand. It may all come into play tapped, though. It does. He has to pass the turn back. This could be an exciting. This could be an exciting turn for Kush. He just drew a Storm Chaser Mage. He's got a fetch land in his hand. Could get himself a basic mountain Storm Chaser Mage and then play a prowess spell. Swing for a bunch of damage. Decides to play the come into play tap land instead. He's gonna hold himself back a turn. Gonna play Storm Chaser Mage and swing both. Sam only takes 2. Pass the turn back. Sam taking a look at his hand. Plays a man land. And he has to say go. Kush untaps. This could be a very big flurry of spells here. Plays Abbott. Top card is a Titan Strength. That is a scary, scary thing. Kush plays a fetch. He's going to probably find himself a mountain here. There's going to be a lot of damage coming in. Yeah, the Mardu deck is very good. There's an instant spell that gives you 1/1 soldiers. It's something the wastes. It's very good. It's 1 white and X. And he decides to play his Titan Strength. He's going to scry off the Titan Strength, assumingly right now. He has to scry. Doesn't have a choice in the matter. Keeps it on top. And it looks like the blue spell that makes a creature unblockable is on top. This is going to be a very, very, very difficult thing for Sam to do. I don't know how Sam is going to live the next turn. This Kush is going to play 3 or 4 spells all together. Sam does have a couple different answers here. Kush is going to untap. He's got 3 prowess creatures right now. And I think Sam's plan is he is going to allow Kush to play all of his spells, and then Sam is going to respond after the last spell, and he is going to block 2 of the creatures. Yep, so he says, yeah, I'm going to give that creature... Oh, he's going to make it unblockable. Oh, my gosh. Well, that's going to... Sam's like, well, what am I gonna do now? So my plan is completely foiled. I'm down to 8. If he does anything, I'm going to lose. Yeah, we don't have life totals on the overlay yet. There's no easy way to do that, unfortunately. But we're working on it. It's a work in progress. We'll be getting there shortly. If you notice, the top left and top right corner is actually normally where the life totals would go. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's a work in progress. Let's see him taps out, kills a creature. And Kush goes, well, I have this spell. That's Prowess 2. And I knew this was on top of my library. That's Prowess 3, and that's it. And there you go. And Kush wins the first game against Sam True. It's way too fast. If this were a race, Kush had a 10-minute head start. This was not something that he could do. And yes, the card is called Secure the Wastes. That is the card. Again, if you're just seeing us here for the first time and you haven't gone to the Game Underground Twitch.tv before, we definitely appreciate you coming. My name is Ted Holt, and I am a level 1 judge for Magic the Gathering. It's very rare for me to stream, but I stream at twitch.tv/thetedster. Outside of that, I am a level 1 judge, so I answer judge questions all the time. So if you have any judge questions whatsoever, you can either PM either twitch.tv page, or you can PM us at facebook.com/GameUnderground, and we can answer any judge questions for you. If you were a local and you wanted to come in and hang out with us, we do have big events happening all the time. Not just Magic the Gathering, but Street Fighter, fighting game tournaments, especially Super Smash Brothers. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have huge Smash Brothers nights that are happening in the store, so you can definitely come in and hang out with us. Big arcade in the front of the store, and our tournament center in the back. We have Grand Prix Trial New York coming this Friday. That is going to be the 19th. So if you do want to come by on the 19th and you want to go ahead and get a 2-round buy for a Grand Prix New York, which is going to be held at the Meadowlands in May, don't hesitate to come in and try to duke it out with our patrons here. That's only going to be $10. It's pretty cool. The arcade games we have. So this is the only area in the Northeast, as far as the very Northeast. I don't count New Jersey in that. New Jersey has 8 on the break, and that has Japanese ports, and they have dance games and things like that. But here we have a bunch of arcade ports that are Japanese ported games. Dance Dance Revolution, pretty much everything that you can think of. Pump It Up, the latest Pump It Up, and we are actually a test store for a lot of other arcade games that are Japanese ports. So you can definitely come in. You can actually hear more about it on our Facebook page. But it's pretty huge. We have people come in all the time to play all of our rhythm games. And we're mainly a rhythm game store. Rhythm games, token, ticket games, and we sell retro video games as well. And Magic the Gathering singles. We're the only place for Magic the Gathering singles in the Northeast that we sell at TCG Player Low. Low. And you probably heard me right. You probably never heard of that before. But we sell a TCG Player Low. So to give you an example, if we had a Jace, the newest Jace here, and let's do some little research right now. Let's go search for a Jace. And we're looking for Memory Adept. All right. Oh, no, we're not. Jace. Vryn's Prodigy. So, if you had a Jace and you wanted to purchase it from us, we would actually sell it for $69. You heard that right. We would sell it at $69. And the reason why we can do that is because we keep our prices low so that you don't have to spend a ton of money on your deck on a regular basis. That doesn't just include regular singles. That also includes modern singles and legacy singles that we get on a regular basis. If you wanted to trade in for sealed product, we pay a wholesale price on our sealed product, just like every other store does. So our logic is that you can trade in your cards at full TCG low value to go ahead and get your Magic singles. So to give you an example, if Jace Vryn's Prodigy is $70 and you traded in 2 of them, you would be about at the range to go ahead and get yourself a Magic the Gathering box. We value boxes at $144 with trade-ins. Pretty good. We do not have a website for the Magic singles. You would actually have to come into the store physically to go ahead and get any of those deals. But anytime you want to come out, you can go ahead and take a look at all of our singles, and you can always call us, and we'll put singles aside for you. Easy stuff. Let's head back to the game here. Sam True fetching and Kush with his first turn Monastery Swiftspear. Sam bringing himself down to 18. Main reason why we're able to do that, and not a lot of people understand this, but because a lot of Magic stores rely solely on their Magic the Gathering singles. Just solely. So Magic the Gathering singles, you absolutely have to make money and that kind of stuff. And they rely solely on all of the Magic the Gathering product. About 50% of their sales is Magic. About 5% of our sales here are Magic. So we're able to do better values and better deals. Ivugan is probably going to be the biggest thing to be banned. Somebody with Wizards is going to probably do big play testing with the deck without Eldrazi Mimic, without Temple, without Ugin, Eye of Ugin, and really see what it is. But I think Eye of Ugin is basically the card that causes the most issues. And Kush with Swiftspear number 2. Sam playing all those pain lands. Pass the turn back. Kush could go all in on this one. Kush swings out. He figures, well, I'm just going to play a spell. It's going to be difficult for you to deal with. I'm going to do Teamer Battle Rage no matter what. Sam goes, yeah, on this guy? Yeah, on this guy. Prowess triggers on the stack. Sam could make his creature indestructible. But it's still not really going to matter. Although he would gain 2 life in the process. Actually, not too bad to do that. Let's see what he does instead. He says that resolves. Prowess triggers resolve. I'm going to put that on that. Sorry about that. Let's see. Sam, I probably would have sided out Read the Bones, being how fast Kush is, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, Sam says, I'm just going to take 2. I'm going to keep the 2 on top. I'm going to draw the cards. I'm going to play this coming to play tap land. I'm going to pass the turn. And Kush with no win in his sails at all. No creatures in play. nothing to do here. Sam with a pretty healthy life total. Kush could play an Abbott here. Nope, it's going to be Storm Chaser Mage. Yeah, hit him for 1. Going to play a land and fetch. I would not play, I was going to say I would not play Abbott here. Yeah, that guy is interesting. He's a 1-2. He's got prowess. If he hits me, you draw a card and you discard a card. Sam might tap, no he's not. He's just going to say, I'm going to duress you. And he can't pick anything. Sam goes, well, shit, that was not too great for me right now. I probably would have tapped out for Gideon, especially if I didn't have another land. Play Seeker the way, he's just going to pass the turn. Could go crazy here. If he plays the land, plays the... See what happens here. Abbott. Oh my gosh. It is going deep. We're going deep here. Abbott. Oh! He can't play the third Abbott. Tough life we live in here. Tough life. He says, I'm going to swing for 1. Oh, man. His opponent's lucky. Opponent's lucky he didn't have... Oh, Kush should have played that land. Sam knows that the land's in his hand. He looks at his land now and is like, yeah, that's dumb. He's going to play duress. And 4 prowess triggers go off. Sam's got to make a decision here. He's going to do something about this. He says, I'm going to kill that creature. Well, he's thinking. It's a rough decision either way. Yep, kills that creature. It pays 2. And he says, do you want my Gideon? Do you want my Gideon, or do you want my Secure the Wastes? I would probably get rid of the Secure. Yep, he gets rid of the Secure the Wastes. Probably want to play a land for the turn. No, still not playing that land. He says that's going to be at 4. He's going to trample over. You have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage to him. Or Kush is just going to do all the damage wrong. I think he just did all the damage wrong. He could have dealt enough damage to him and then trample over and do everything, but he just assigned lethal damage incorrectly, which that's his call, really. And Sam decides to play Gideon. I got to imagine he's going to put a 2-2 out. Yep. Says go. Swings. So now I'm not going to say it's impossible, but Kush has an uphill climb, up an ice hill to go ahead and get there. It's definitely not impossible, but it's very unlikely for him to win this game. And now Sam is swinging with lifelink lands to go ahead and give him more life to add some cushion to what damage he's already taken. Kush says, well, all right, well, I'm going to duress you. That gets a +1/+1 counter, or +1/+1 from prowess, but you still really lose nothing if I swing in. So Kush says, yeah, I'm just going to pass. And Sam just has more powerful cards at this point. I mean, there's just nothing. Sam could just make tokens until his eyes bleed. Decides to swing with a lifelink creature. Makes a token. Kush draws a card. Here's Swift Spear. Sam draws a card. I mean, I still think that you still use the man land and do what you've been doing. You have another man land to deal with it. You don't really care. You just keep swinging with a man land. Why not? It's just free life gain. Takes you out of that weird range. And even if he has to trade with a creature, you don't really care. There you go. In the swing. Kush just takes it. Doesn't really want to trade. And Sam makes a token. So once you're at this stage of the game, Sam's top decks are just much better. Just much better than Kush's. Because Kush's deck is designed to just go off and beat you within turn 1 through 6. Sam's just going, all right, well, I'm just going to untap. Draw my card. And a secure the waste at end of turn is just going to kill Kush completely. There's just nothing he can do about it. Sam goes, I'm just going to swing with all these guys. You are at a low life total. There's nothing wrong with that. Sam goes, okay, I'm going to pass the turn. If you do anything crazy, I'm just going to have an answer for you. You could force him to sacrifice a creature. And Kush is going to pass, and he's just going to concede. It's like, it's going to be really difficult to deal with. Chris, who won? 2-0? Two more matches to go. Still have Sam and Kush's match here. And Kush is deciding on a few other sideboard cards. Let's see. 65 viewers right now, guys. That is insane. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate that. If you think my commentary is great, we always appreciate that. If you think it's terrible, I suggest that you mute me, and it will make your viewing experience better. Outside of that, if you do at all have any requests as far as judge information, or if you need any judge rulings, don't hesitate to PM or ask us, either while we stream any of our Magic events every Wednesday, or while we go ahead and run around and do everything. You can go ahead and PM us at twitch.tv/Game Underground, or you can PM us via our social media through Facebook, facebook.com/Game Underground. I was waiting for Sam and Kush to go ahead and shuffle up. Gets game 3 here. This will be the deciding factor. Kush is probably sweating. Sam seems pretty cool and collected. Everybody else is pretty much trading, and we have one other match that's going on as well. We'll see what happens here. Sam's ready, pulling up his sleeves. He means business now. Go. Yeah, I can understand that too. You know, I do the commentary because, you know, I could either be playing or doing commentary. Realistically, whenever I play, it's fun, but at the same time, I really enjoy commentary and speaking to other people. And, you know, being a judge, you know, it kind of, when you become a judge for the game, you kind of get rid of your competitive values as far as Magic is concerned. Most of the time, most judges do not usually play on a regular basis. There are a few rare considerations of that, but many of the Pro Tour players are not judges. What they pretty much are just players. There are a few exceptions to that rule. So, but Sam kept his hand. Kush mulligan. May not be good for him. We'll have to see. 19 minutes remaining. We don't have any weird pop-ups or anything that screams at me when you follow, but if you do follow us on Twitch, we always appreciate that. You don't need to subscribe if you don't absolutely want to, but we give you some pretty cool emoticons. We're working on a Magic the Gathering emoticon. I just don't know what it's going to be yet. I have to make a decision on it. And Kush, go ahead and doing the scry. And mainly scry all the cards, because Kush is going to go into mulligan number 2. He's going to go to 5 cards. This is a bit of karmic justice for Sam White. Sam White mulliganed to 4 against Kush, and it looks like Kush is now mulliganing to 5 against Sam True. So this is just, you know, I like to call the mulligan karmic justice. Kush just explaining how annoyed he is that he's mulliganed so many times so far. I can completely understand where he's coming from. Hoping for a good 5. He needs these cards to be okay. He doesn't like them, but he may just have to keep them. He's going to scry. Puts down the bottom. He plays a fetch and passes the turn back. Plays that fetch pretty hard on the table, so you got to imagine he's not very happy. Just so you know, guys, just some food for thought on this. If you ever have a bad time in a game of Magic and you mulligan poorly, you should probably not go ahead and give any physical values as far as how your hand is and how your game is, because you're literally giving the game away even more doing that, especially when you are trying to win the game to begin with. You know, you don't want to give the impression to your opponent that you can't win. It's just something, you know, it's just some food for thought for you guys out there. Don't want to just give up. Especially, I've won on moles before. It's not impossible. It's unlikely. It's not impossible. Push taps 2. Plays his 1-2 and passes the turn. It looks like it's going to be a duress here. Says, take a look. I have this Expedite, I have this Teamer Battle Rage, and I have this land. What would you like? Sam goes, I don't know. I actually probably would have gotten rid of the Expedite, but because the Expedite lets him cantrip for another card. Counts for 2 cards in a sense. And Kush draws a card. Draws essentially what is known as shock right now. Plays that Expedite, draws a card. I would have fetched first to thin out his deck for as little as it would have thinned it out. And then fetches with the card that he just drew. He's going to get himself, I was going to say, he's going to get himself a Tango land because it's going to come into play on tap now. See what's going to happen here. I mean, I would imagine Kush is going to attack. He's going to hit Sam, and he's going to be able to draw a card and then discard a card. He can at least discard the land that's in his hand. That's it. So Kush is hoping that Sam doesn't have anything to do on this turn. Really, really hoping. So, let's see what happens here. Kush can do a bunch of stuff. Plays Abbott. Says, Sam goes response. I'm going to give that creature -4/-4. Kush says, okay. Abbott flip. Teamer Battle Rage. I have no land in my hand. I cannot do anything about that. And that's the worst, too, because if he had a land in his hand, he could at least... it wouldn't matter because he didn't have haste. But he's got a Titan Strength. Oh, Sam Chu goes, I'm going to give that guy -4/-4, too. Kush is running an empty. Literally nothing in his hand other than a shock and a Titan Strength. And a land. That's disgusting. So Sam is going to play Sorin. And he's probably going to run away with this game here. Yeah. Kush goes, well, yeah, I'm gonna shock the U and redirect the Sorin and the turn. So you just get a 2/2 and that's it. Just still a really good play. Definitely maximized his spell. The problem is that Sam has 4 other cards in his hand that could all be bombs. See what Sam's going to do here. Pays 2. And plays a seeker of the way. Swings for 2. Flying. And says go. Push drawing a land. Gonna fetch. Sam also fetches. Kush is probably just going to pass the turn back. He doesn't have anything else to do. Yeah, pass the turn back. Sam might have a really, really good turn right now. Pays 3. Decides to read the bones. Look at the top 2. Says, I like one of them, but not the other. He's going to draw the top 2 at that point. Loses 2 life for that. Looks like he's got another sword in his hand. Swings for 3. And he's going to gain 3. Kush would have to draw a Bonfire of the Damned. And that is not legal in this format. That is the only way that he's going to be able to get out of this. He expedites one of Sam's creatures to just cantrip to draw a card. He needs something. He does it again, makes the creature unblockable, draws another card. Yeah, he'd have to miracle Bonfire of the Damned. That's going to be the only way. Play Sorin. Says, no, I'm going to counter that. Swings for 5. Brings Kush to 7. Draws a card, plays Swift Spear, which is at least a creature, which is good. Sam draws a card. And yeah, there's a ton of things in Sam's hand that he could do at this point. I mean, he's going to play that to chant it. Prowess, swing for 5. Bring Kush to 2. Pass the turn back. Kush draws a card. Makes that unblockable to draw another card. And Sam True is our game day champion with 3-color aggro. White, black, blue. 3-color aggro. For those of you who just got here, our prize support for today, first place is going to get 16 packs. Second place is going to get 8 packs. Third and fourth are going to get 6, and fifth through eighth are going to get 3 boosters. We had 8 players for today. If you're a local and you wanted to come to Natick and you wanted to participate in all this awesome prize support, don't hesitate to come by. We have Magic the Gathering events every Wednesday. Our Star City Games game day, which we give out Star City Games tokens and top 4 prize support per pod. So if we have 16 players or we have 24 players, like we usually do, we have 3 first, 3 seconds, 3 third places, and 3 fourth places. Outside of that, our next Friday that's coming up will not be a Friday Night Magic event, but it will instead be a Grand Prix trial of New York. We will be going ahead and giving out a 2-round bye to Grand Prix New York. That's going to be awesome. That's going to start at 7 o'clock, and it's going to be $10 to enter. Yeah, it's probably Esper tokens. There you go. I'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, we're going to be giving out some prize support to all of our participants today. And I'll be right back in 2 seconds. That was loud. I had to be loud for that. All right, guys. So that is literally it. That is the end of the event. I am uploading the event, and that's it. Kush is opening some packs and giving you some forbearing on that. And outside of that, we definitely appreciate you coming in today. Overall. Kush with all the value. We definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. We will be streaming Magic the Gathering again on Wednesday. If you do want to follow us in the meantime, we always appreciate the follow. And that's about it. Otherwise, you guys have fun, and we will talk to you later. And, yeah, that's it. Just so you know, otherwise, our Wednesday Star City Games game days are at 7 p.m., $15 entry. Our Friday Night Magic Standards at 7 o'clock. That is a $10 entry. And we have our Grand Prix Trial in New York coming up. We will have the event page for Grand Prix Trial in New York going up momentarily, probably within the next hour or two at the very most. That's about it. Check us out at facebook.com/GameUnderground, and we will see you later.